Let's get scratching.
Alright guys, welcome to another episode of the Get a Life podcast here at One Up Games. I'm Nick, this is
Tim.
And today we're going to be talking about our old arcades when we were a kid. Our memories of our local arcade or arcades, because I lived in a different state, then moved here, so I have a couple. And just like fond memories of playing games, what games did we play, what games did we see, and shit like that. So let's kick it off. Jay-Z, rock on. I'll start. Why not?
Do it.
So I grew up in Florida until like 5th, 6th grade, or something like that, and then I moved here. So my arcade was at the mall in Florida. I was kind of a ticket hound. So I played all those games, and I saved all my tickets for something like 5-6 years.
So you had thousands of tickets and
thousands.
you were able to get like a bouncy ball.
I think I got a Monopoly board or something.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, those Monopoly boards cost a lot.
It was like 25,000 tickets or something, but it was like the special edition Monopoly board.
I can believe it.
But you probably could buy it for $30 at the store. But I had probably something like $200 worth of freaking tokens to buy that Monopoly board. Which that's stupid, man. But I remember playing that. Do you remember that alligator game? Mm-hmm. The alligators would come out and you'd smack it with the mallet. Of course. Dude, like every single time.
You'd use your hands, though. Yeah, you beat on them like drums.
And of course, I did the basketball with the moving hoop. And I mean, I was an athletic kid, so it's just like I was always doing like stuff that was like really going. But of course, they had the Turtles in Time. They had Simpsons. We were really fortunate to have the X-Men cabinet with the 3 screens, and it was 6 players. Mm-hmm. So we had X-Men, we had Turtles. We'd always have like the bike game, it was side to side, old school stuff.
The Hang On?
Maybe. I just remember it was red. Was it Virtual On too? Was that there, like the dual joystick one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I played that like crazy. And then we also had like a roller skate rink. And that was like the first time I ever played Mortal Kombat and just saw Mortal Kombat. And of course there was always like some like douchebag guy who figured out how to play the game so well. And
he would just do that scissor kick with Liu Kang.
He would put in 50 scissor kick.
That little punk move. Isn't that a thing? Where he goes like, wow.
That was in the second one, the bicycle kick. Bicycle kick. Yeah,
okay.
That was in the second one. The first one he just had that dash kick thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And then he could only do the high fireball. I don't even think he could do the low fireball until the second one also. But yeah, like that was the first time I saw Mortal Kombat. I remember, of course, playing like Street Fighter and that kind of shit. And just having like a great time at the arcade. My mom would always do this thing like where she would just like drop my brother and I off for like an hour. And she would give us like $5 each. Which, that's a lot of tokens for an hour, Back in the day, because everything was basically a quarter. And then if it was a new game like Killer Instinct or something like that, those were 50 cents. But what about yours? Because you were just here in Arizona.
Man, I had a lot. I mean, I used to go to the arcade malls. That was where Killer Instinct was. But there's a place here in Arizona called Golfland.
Yep.
I used to go there all the time in the Golfland Castle. That's the arcade.
Did Golfland always have that thing like where you could pay?
I don't know. Back when I was like 15.
You would pay this thing like where you pay for like $8 and you get 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, back when I was a kid, I think it was like $5 or $6 for like 10 to noon or 10 to 1. And I used to play Power Stone there because they had a Power Stone arcade.
Damn.
They had a racing game called Sega GT that I used to always play.
So you're going more like late 90s.
Yeah, this was later on.
Okay. I haven't gotten there yet.
But prior to that, there was a place called the Nickel Palace. I've told you about this Palace before. Yeah. There were a few of them, and so you'd go in and you'd pay a $5 covered fee, whatever, and then all the games were between like 1 and 4 nickels to play. And they had an X-Men. I think it was the big 3-screen one with the 6-player. They had a Killer Instinct machine. I remember one time there were these kids in there, dude, and like the control panel was loose, and they were lifting it up and rubbing a token on it on like a spot on the control panel, and it was giving them credits. And I wanted to play Killer Instinct, but these little pricks wouldn't get off the machine. They just kept getting free credits. But I used to play Race Driving. You know, that terrible Super Nintendo game?
Yeah.
It was actually a fun arcade game. I used to play, I don't know what it was called. It was like an overhead tank game I used to play.
Did you ever play the Terminator 2 with the dual
with
Uzis?
the Uzis, yeah.
It's the only way I can play. I can get nowhere in the Super Nintendo game. Or the Sega Genesis one. I get like the second level.
Are you playing with the gun?
No, I'm just playing
with the controller. No, that's nonsense. I used to play House of the Dead in the arcade.
All the time. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I never played that in the arcade.
See, did you ever go to Pocket Change, the one at Superstition Springs Mall here in Arizona?
Yeah.
Mesa?
That's where I would play Killer Instinct. Like when Killer Instinct first came out, that's where it was at. It was in that mall.
Do you remember when, and this just happened at our mall, this might not have happened at yours, but let us know because it'd be really cool to know if like other states did this. But there was a time like right before Pocket Change closed, which I want to say was like in 2002, 2001 when it closed. Like the year before that, they had set up like all these like this table in this like round like circle, and they had nothing but computers there. And you would go in and you'd pay like $8 for like 2 hours.
Like an internet cafe?
Like an internet cafe at Pocket Change. And as soon as you walked, because it was at the top level next to the food court, and you'd walk in and it'd be right there at the entrance. And they had something like 20 computers, and you would play, we would always play Unreal Tournament.
Oh,
and we would do facing.
Would go in there.
Yeah, and you'd sit down, pay $8, and we'd do Facing Worlds or Dueling Worlds, the ones that we played here on Unreal Championship.
Yeah.
And we would play Capture the Flag for like 2 hours straight. It was like $8 to do that. I remember.
Really?
And we'd sit there for 2 hours, and like if people, and that was like we didn't have like parents that needed to shop because I was like a freaking junior in high school.
Right. Yeah. See, no, I stopped going to that place long before they ever did that. Like I would go there as a kid, and then one day as an adult, I went into that mall, and I was like, it's a freaking AT&T store now.
Did you ever have like a Circle K or like a 7-Eleven that had arcade machines like near your place where you grew up?
Nah, not that I ever played on.
Yeah,
no.
We had like this crazy, I always call it bodegas, because if you watch the movie Half Baked, there's this weird old shop that has nothing but like crappy old products, and it's called bodegas. But yeah, we used to call this shop like the Quickie Mart, but now I'd call it bodegas because it was like the most rundown freaking Circle K ever. But they had 2 amazing beat 'em up machines that are kind of hard to find. They had a Double Dragon and they had a Ninja Gaiden.
Oh,
and a lot of people forget that Ninja Gaiden on the arcade is a beat 'em up. It's not. Different. It's different. It's not. It plays like Double Dragon.
Oh.
It's not a side-scrolling platformer. Get hit, fall in the pits, and like fucking wind and stuff.
Birds.
It was a beat 'em up game, and it was really great. But like, oh man, dude, just like playing games when I got a little bit older and we moved to Arizona because Pocket Change was pretty much the only place we went to, and then sometimes we'd go to Arizona Mills Mall.
Oh yeah, GameWorks.
GameWorks.
Oh, dude, I didn't even.
But by the time that like I found GameWorks, this other mall, like all I would do is play the retro stuff. I'd be playing like Donkey Kong. I'd be playing Miss Pac-Man. I'd be playing Centipede, and as I was older, I was like at high school in my 20s and stuff, and I just wanted to play like retro games on the stand-up console. And they didn't really care about getting in like the Ferraris and shit and spending $2 to drive around and the whole thing moves.
I was gonna say, dude, like
that's
now
what you
that you mention it. Well, see, I wouldn't go to GameWorks and put like $2-3 in one machine. I would go, and they used to have something similar where it was like 3 hours of play. You'd pay like $15 or something. And you'd just play for 3 hours. And I used to play that 3-screen Ferrari, that Sega game, F355 Challenge, and we'd play Hydro Thunder, Daytona USA 2.
Dude, they have these ones where you sit in there and the whole damn thing like lifts off the ground and you're like spinning around and
then
shit.
They had that big thing upstairs. It was like the IndyCar game, and you could link. It was like 12 of them.
That's what I'm talking. The whole car, you're in a like a freaking like go-kart.
And there was always a line for that.
Yeah.
And right next to it, there was a Blitz machine. I remember that. I used to always play Blitz, waiting in line at that stupid thing.
Arcades are kind of missed. I mean, there's a couple of cities in the States still that have like really awesome like classic retro arcade. Man, you guys are lucky. So really, I would say like I know there's one in Chicago. I saw the Cinemassacre thing that James Rolfe did when he was there with like the Nostalgia Critic and some other guys. That's awesome, man. Like if I had something like that here, and we kind of do, there's a really cool local one called Starfighter Arcade. And it's got some really good stuff. It's just I wish the place was a little bit bigger, and I wish it had a little bit more. But Starfighter Arcade, if anybody, you should check it out. It's a really cool spot.
Well, arcades kind of seem to be making a little bit of a comeback. Or
yeah, there's a really dope pinball arcade place out in Vegas. Like there's one in Vegas. It's like all freaking pinball machines. It's fantastic. So don't just go to Vegas and get stupid drunk. I mean, get stupid drunk, but go to that freaking play some pinball. Put a smile on your face.
Is that the freaking candy bar commercial?
I don't know.
Oh, wait.
I don't know why I just said that. I'm just tired. And on that,
dude, that's a commercial for something.
Yeah. Put a smile on your face.
What you gonna do?
That's what you gotta do.
Do you remember that? Dude, that's a commercial.